All right, what is up, guys? Welcome to JS Racing. My name is Jason. In the previous videos, I have showcased the video functions and also the analysis function, and I left you guys with a teaser, and that is, what if you want to show this set of data with someone else and then they could give you a few pointers. Now, in the beginning of this video, you may have noticed something that is quite different to the conventional data analysis software, and that is the social portion of this app. And that is because I have actually implemented a sort of like a team-based chat collaboration function into the app, and I call it the team radio. Very creative. But anyway, so yes, if you do have a coach that has the same app, now you can actually share this set of data with that coach, and because you can actually attach all the files to the chat, he can literally just tap open the attachment and it'll open the exact same data and videos that you've sent them. So let me show you how that is done. All right, guys, so now we are back in our app, and you just downloaded a session and you want to sort of send it to your coach so that they can review it. Let's just open a random one. Here you see there's like a set of data. Actually, I had a problem with the RPM, but anyway, so you have a set of data here and you want to share with your coach. All you need to do is click the share analysis button, and you can say share to team radio or export the track profile, which I'll talk about in a different video. So you go to share to team radio because team radio is the social chat function of this app. Now you can see the share sheet. It will list the data that you're trying to share, and it'll give you a bunch of options. Now you can share just the entire session, which is the biggest attachment, or you can share just the laps that contains notes, or you can share only the notes, or you can share only selected laps, maybe your best lap. That will reduce the file size a lot, and if you don't care about file size, you can also share the full analysis session with videos. Now, the way the app compresses video for 1080p for like a single lap, it's roughly about for like a 1 minute lap, it's about 90 to 100 megs. So do that at your own discretion. But if you do choose to include all the videos, it will just package it in a zip file format, and it'll just send it to the person that you want to share with. So for the purpose of the demo, I'm not going to do that because I have already done that already. So yeah, after you click share, it will jump to the team radio page, which is where there are 3 tabs here, but this is where you see your contacts, your chats, and then also a function I call bulletin, but I'll talk about that a little later. But yeah, when you do share a data file with someone, it will pop up in a chat like this as an attachment, and it will show you all the basic data, like the time and date, how many laps, what's the the name of the person who drove or whatever, and it'll give you a screenshot of what that looks like. So for the person who sees this attachment, all they need to do is just tap on that attachment and it would start downloading. Once it's completely downloaded, the app will open the session data in just like that. So there you have it. It opened the session data like that, and you can then see what the person did or whatever. If that person had videos, you can do all the same actions as you did with when you had video links and all that stuff. But in the previous screen, I actually showed you that something called notes, and that is another feature that I've implemented into this analysis screen, and that is annotation. So with annotation, you can literally, like for example, this is actually my new track, by the way, and it looks like shite because there's no satellite image as yet because it's just way too new. But anyway, so that's what the new track looks like. That's actually just one half of the track. Anyway, so for example, you are seeing some odd behavior for a certain corner, maybe for this one, for example. Okay, and if you look at the map, okay, this is the top speed, and then you look at the map, the person starts slowing down way too soon. Okay, so I want to tell them, don't slow down at this point. So what I do is I'll double click, and then a little post-it note would pop up and say, allow you to type something. Don't slow down here. Break later. Okay, just whatever note. Okay, then this note will be marked in this area. Now, and then you keep continuing, you'd say, okay, this is breaking point. Okay, you can do that, and then you can see there are two notes like that. And if you continue with the data, and then you see that, oh, okay, this dude is constantly slowing down way too soon. Look at that, it's way too soon. So you can say, okay, I want to highlight this entire area. So what I do is add range node. There's a button here, and you just click the beginning of the range, and then you end maybe somewhere here and say this area is too slow, or something like that. Okay, too slow. So on the data, you can see that it will highlight the entire area that you just highlighted, and this node now belongs to this area. But if you want to fine-tune like some of these nodes, you can just drag and drop whatever, and then once you're happy with this position, you can lock it. So there's a padlock here, and this will prevent it from being dragged. Okay, now the benefit of this annotation system is that it allows a back and forth where you can actually precisely see which areas the driver needs to work on, or you can actually change the category of these nodes and then say this is actually an engineering problem. So for example, I have actually created a couple of categories already. You can say, oh, this is a mechanical issue. Okay, and then you can type your note and say, oh, there was a lot of clutch slippage here around this area. Can you see the data and check what is happening? You can do that. Or there's another way of doing it, and that is what I call versioning. So at the bottom, you can see there's an annotation timeline. Okay, you can see that on the left there is a JSON CU, and then there's a JSON. So these are two completely different users, and you can see that there are a bunch of entries which were done, and you can see that each entry has a different set of notes. Okay, and this versioning allows you to either do the back and forth, learn how to drive, dumbass. Or you can say these different versions are different categories of notes. You can say, oh, this category is for mechanics, this category is for whatever, like for the driver, or this category is like questions for the coach or whatever. Either way, there are two different ways for you to sort of categorize your notes and sort of organize them so that you can actually communicate your ideas across just by sending the data back and forth. So this is where that share function with the notes was about. So you can just share the notes, or you can share the laps with the notes. That's basically what that is for. So with the annotation system, for example, if I pick the one that we just did, okay, I have several points highlighted on the data graph. But I want to see it as a map. So what happens is when I clicked share analysis, there's a new option here. Now this option will actually overlay the notes onto the track map. So let's print the note. Okay, let's copy it and then paste it onto the desktop. So I have the PDF opened that had the notes that we added. Well, my apologies, but that wasn't the set of notes that we added. It's an older version, but doesn't matter. Yeah, the function will basically overlay all the notes they added to the exact position of the track. And this is very useful because when we did coaching for students at a new track, or we're taking people to like a new track for a race or something, as a coach, we would drive through the track and then remember all the points to focus on throughout the track. And what we did was we would write up a list of stuff, what we call track notes, and we'll give it to the students. But the problem with that back then is that it's hard to visualize the track notes with the track layout and also with the video itself. With this new suite of functions, like with the track map, with the notes on the data graph, with the video, the student can literally see where each point of interest really is along the track, and that's very, very useful. So this PDF, you can print it out, you can hand it to the students, or you can send the data, the entire session with the notes to the student or to the driver, whatever, and they can just pour over it however they want. They can add their own notes, send it back to you, and then you can review their questions or queries or whatever. Either way, it just makes it so much easier to collaborate with your driver and whatever, even mechanics. You can send them the notes and then they can review it the night before, and then the next day in the morning they can go on the track and just change the setup a little bit or whatever, do some fixing. And yeah, all that can be done within the app. You can message each other, you can voice message each other, send attachments and these and that. So yeah, so at the end of the day, it just it is complicating the app a little bit, but to me, I found it to be so much more convenient to be able to share all of that all within the app. Everything just you can view it inside the app, you can do everything inside the app. And an issue that I had before was that I was using maybe WhatsApp or WeChat, whatever, and everything is done through these social apps, that it made it so convoluted, where you have social and also professional environment all mixed in together. It just made it so it's not very professional in my opinion. Okay, maybe some other people is just so used to that kind of workflow, it no longer matters. But for this app, you can literally isolate everything. So WhatsApp is WhatsApp, or whatever social app that you use to chat with your team, whatever. And this app is this app. You can, all the data is here, all the video, all the notes, everything is isolated inside this app. Anyway, so that was a brief showcase of the share and annotation function, but I also skimmed over the team radio function, which I actually want to talk about in a separate video, because there's actually quite a bit of stuff there as well, although not a really, really long video, but I do want to separate it a little bit. So yes, I will be talking about the team radio and drivers function in the next video, because those are quite interesting functions, especially for a motorsport data analysis focused app. I do see a lot of use to it, especially if you run maybe academies or you run like race teams or whatever, because the original intention for the team thing is that you can set one up easily and then you can leave it easily. So for example, a scenario that we had was we would bring like 10-12 people to attend a race that has like endurance racing in there, and we would have 3 different teams. Now in a chat group, all of them is like bunched up together, but you want to be able to address each team separately. Now with this app, you would be able to set up separate teams, talk to them separately, send them data separately, which is a lot more organized way of sort of dealing with it. I mean, obviously you can set up different chat groups and all that stuff, but I mean, at the end of the day, this is like an isolated professional environment and you can do it all in there separately. And yeah, I mean, in that scenario, I would say that this function would have helped us organize the chaos that we had. But anyway, so yeah, that's it for this video. If you're interested in this team collab, you know, chat social function, please follow, and yeah, I'll be posting that video quite soon as well. So anyway, that's it for this video. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace.